Hi, I'm Tom Steinbach with the City of Oconomowoc, Operations Manager for the utility and Director of the Watershed program. Today we'll be giving an update on the status of the program, which is now approximately 3 years old. And we'll be looking forward to the next year here to give everybody a little feel for what's expected and hopefully enlighten a lot of those who have never seen our presentation before to gain some enthusiasm and get some good questions.
Thank you, Don. The only thing worse than speaking before lunch is speaking after lunch, I think they say. So, but we'll be quick, I promise. First of all, my name is Tom Steinbach. I'm with the City of Oconomowoc and Operations Manager for the wastewater facility and also Director of our Watershed program, which you see up on the screen right now. With me today is Daryl Smith, our Ag Coordinator, who does the lion's share of our groundwork. Daryl would be the person probably meeting with you first to discuss a possible project on your land. So Daryl will be getting up here in a couple minutes to give you some information about our program as well. First thing I'd like to do though, a lot of you I see familiar faces, but there's some of you that are not. And I'd like to ask a show of hands, first of all, of those from the town of Concord, Jefferson County. Secondly, Waukesha County. Okay, and then finally, Washington County. Okay, well, I appreciate you all coming today because we've been holding these informational meetings now for 3 years at various town halls and having different agendas. You know, you can imagine how some of our first meetings were very much, who is that standing at the podium? Meaning me, from the City of Oconomowoc. But as we've gone along here, we've really gotten to know each other a lot better, at least some of you. And I really appreciate that camaraderie and the fact that you keep coming back. Our program is changing regularly. I don't know if it's changing rapidly, but it's changing regularly, and it's ramping up each year. We had a great year in 2016, and I certainly appreciate all your participation and your interest. So we're all working here for the better good, and it's hopefully going to bring itself to fruition, and we'll see the results someday in the future. I know John's question earlier was, well, is the Mason Creek project that was done in 2014, is that making a difference? Well, I'm here to tell you that I don't know. My gut feeling is that it is. It has to. It was one of the most hot spots on Mason Creek that was identified in a study, so I believe it has to be making a difference. I don't see Mason Creek on a daily basis, but I have seen it when it's been really chocolate brown. And I haven't seen that since, but as we know, there's a lot of variables, including the weather. Look outside. So we are doing a lot of monitoring though, which will get at that question of, is it making a difference? And as we collect more and more information in that monitoring program, hopefully we'll be able to see those trends and they'll be going the right way. The monitoring that we're doing that's the most critical would be at this location here where the Oconomowoc River connects to the Rock River. And that's actually our criterion point for the adaptive management program, which I'll talk about in the next couple minutes. But we plot that level of phosphorus almost every month of the year, except when the rivers froze over. And I have to tell you that in the last 2 years, that level ended up in a pretty good spot in late 2016. So that's positive. You can't draw any conclusions though. We have to be careful because it's only 2 years of data, and again, a lot of it has to do with weather trends. So the great thing would be to have an excellent looking 2017. So we'll see what happens. Adaptive management. I wish they would have called it Watershed Adaptive Management, because really the adaptive management programs through the DNR are for watershed improvements. So I would like to be able to stand up here and say we've got the greatest wham ever. Watershed Adaptive Management Plan, but I can't. But I do feel we have a really good program, and we were the first to be approved for this program in the state of Wisconsin, which is really a hats off to the city for approving such a big step to take. So very honored to be part of this program and see it improving. So with that, I'd like to refer to the handout that I put out on the table just a few minutes ago. What we tried to do here with this is give you a very simple, straightforward explanation of the financial packages that are available to you through the adaptive management program. It's a two-pager in case you're looking for it. It's stapled together. If you don't have one, I would be glad to get you one. I don't know if I have any left at this point, but maybe you can kind of share it or something. But I'll get you one. Please let me know. Very simple handout. Basically, on the back of the front page, it shows you the financial options that you have available to you. And I'm going to go through those real quick. Basically, we work very closely with the NRCS and their programs. And we prefer to do that because those people have been doing these programs for many years. They have the expertise. We join with the NRCS basically to make you financially whole in these projects. So if you look at that sheet, there's basically that option where we go with the NRCS and coordinate that project through that agency and add to it to make the financial project 100% whole for you. The second option is just to go with the City of Oconomowoc directly, and that has some advantages, such as you can get a project done and approved fairly quickly. However, the financial part of it is 90% of the cost versus 100%. So those, in a nutshell, are the two basic financial packages that are available to you. So again, we tried to simplify that for you. Feel free to contact me, talk to me later on, or Daryl, and we can explain those further. Even talking to Kathy with the NRCS, she has all the information on our program as well, so we're definitely available for that. So again, glad to see you here. Glad to have you participating with us, those who are already. We're on a great ride here, and it's a lot of fun, and I see some great benefits in the future. So I'm going to turn it over to Daryl for him to give you a few more details about where we've been and where we're going.
Great, thanks, Tom. My business card is in the front of your folder. So I'm Daryl, and if you have any questions about the Watershed Protection Project, I'm happy to field them today, or call me on my cell. It's a number that's listed. One of the things we wanted to do today is to report back now on what's already been accomplished and give you an idea that this isn't just a hope and a prayer or pie in the sky. There's actually some teeth in this program and what's already been accomplished. If you or someone you know works and farms land somewhere within this perimeter, your land would be available for at least some funding through the Oconomowoc Watershed Protection Project, assuming that it meets some criteria. And we also have some pretty good rent offset funds available for land that's taken out of conservation, but it's not our goal to necessarily take a ton of land out of agriculture. It's not our goal to take a ton of land out of agriculture. It's more to work and implement good conservation practices integrated in the work of a farm. So, but just know that you don't have to be immediately bordering a stream or a lake to have cost share dollars available. The watershed is an interconnected watershed. So to give you an idea of what's happened so far, we've currently completed, and that means in the ground, 9 projects, including cover crops, filter strips, pollinator habitat, and other types of conservation cover. Some livestock management strategies and exclusion, away from rivers and streams, and also a small but important Mason Creek stream bank restoration project. Those total projects basically it's $190,000 of total project costs between NRCS funds and city-based funds, and those projects are spanning between 1 and 10 years. So it might be just a 1-year cover crop plan that gets renewed or changed the next year, or it could be buffers that are installed for a 10-year window and a permanent cover put there. So slated for 2017, we have 5 projects. They're actually, all of them are larger projects, similar to the ones that I mentioned, also some wetland restoration and a wetland easement, in fact. So total there is $610,000 between NRCS and city funds. So the city is doing some pretty dramatic work investing outside of city limits in the success and the health of both the farmland and the waterways. Going forward, we're exploring with the NRCS the possibility, and if you're interested in this, please come talk to me, the possibility of cost share funding gypsum applications for different soils that qualify based on soil tests. So we can talk about that, and also working with the farmers for Lake Country, we might be teaming up on some aerial seeding of cover crops. So if you're looking at getting in on something, I'll let the aerial seeding folks lead that. But if you're looking to get in on some new ground and dip your hand in that, but aren't sure if you have enough acreage or how to coordinate it, you can talk to me or one of the other farmers from Lake Country. I'd be happy to work with you on that. So bottom line, we are off and running. We're looking forward to another good year and ready to start the conversation with folks that are either here or a neighbor or somebody you think that might be interested.